nightly business report.
Good evening. Tonight, in order to draw in international investors and bolster its long-term economic resilience, the Asian Development Bank advised Sri Lanka to expedite the implementation of sustainable financing arrangements. Numerous import and export laws have been amended in a Gazette Extraordinary, including a major change that allows Bureau Veritas inspection certificates for automobiles imported from any nation. Building on the previous day's strong trend, the Colombo Stock Exchange continued to rise on the fourth trading day of the week. And following the Federal Reserve's largely anticipated decision to keep interest rates steady, US stocks surged and investors and the central bank are still assessing the impact of President Trump's tariff policy on inflation and the economy.
From Studio 24, here's Anuradhi Vikramasinghe.
A very good evening and thank you for joining us. The Asian Development Bank urged Sri Lanka to accelerate the adoption of sustainable financing frameworks to attract global investors and strengthen its long-term economic resilience.
The Asian Development Bank has urged Sri Lanka to strengthen its sustainable finance ecosystems to attract global investors seeking socially impactful financing mechanisms such as green and sustainability-linked bonds. A well-structured sustainable financing system backed by the international recognized regulations could reduce countries' reliance on traditional banking channels and diversify financial risks. ADB's South Asia's Government Director General Takio Kunishi emphasized that promoting sustainable finance could drive economic growth and improve quality of life by reducing waste and cost. He commended the Securities and Exchange Commission of Sri Lanka and the Colombo Stock Exchange for their green bond initiatives, including successful issuances by DFCC Bank and Alliance Finance plc. Kunishi called for further development of the sustainable finance ecosystem and greater use of capital markets to fund sustainable projects. ADB Country Director for Sri Lanka Takafumi Kadono reaffirmed the bank's commitment to help Sri Lanka improve its regulatory frameworks and boost investor confidence.
Sri Lanka is expected to lose about 200,000 taxpayers from its tax net following the increase of the personal income tax threshold to 150,000 rupees per month, according to the Finance Ministry. Treasury officials revealed that the proposed change would result in a 60 billion rupee annual loss in tax revenue, which is equivalent to 0.2% of the GDP. The PIT revenue for 2024 was 198 billion rupees, with around 800,000 individual taxpayers registered with the Inland Revenue Department. The government's 2025 budget proposal includes raising the tax-free threshold from 1.2 million rupees to 1.8 million rupees per annum and broadening the 6% tax slab from 500,000 to 1 million rupees. Additionally, it was disclosed that a significant portion of individual income tax files opened involuntarily and on self-assessment are for individuals earning below 1.8 million rupees annually. Meanwhile, the implementation of value-added tax amendments has been postponed to the 1st of October due to legal issues with only inland revenue amendments to be rectified in Parliament. The Central Bank of Sri Lanka is expanding its digital payment initiative to more districts, aiming to reduce cash reliance and promote mobile transactions.
The Central Bank of Sri Lanka will host its next digital payments promotion campaign on March 22nd and 23rd at Gregory Lake Car Park in Nuwara, aimed at expanding cashless payment solutions for businesses and consumers. The event will showcase banks, finance companies, telecom providers and MSMEs offering on-site registration and demonstrations of digital payment platforms. Attendees will be able to sign up for mobile payment apps and experience Lanka QR transactions, with participating vendors offering special discounts to encourage digital adoption. The CBSL emphasizes that digital payments are a safer, more convenient, cost-effective alternative to cash, especially for small businesses seeking to reach more customers. Governor Dr. Nandalal Weerasinghe is expected to attend the campaign, underscoring its importance for Sri Lanka's financial ecosystem. The initiative encourages the public to explore mobile transactions and embrace a modernized digital payment landscape. The CBSL calls on consumers and businesses alike to seize the opportunity for personalized guidance on mobile payment adoption.
Jeep drivers at Yala National Park staged a protest early today calling for the cancellation of pending safari Jeep registrations. The demonstration disrupted tourist activities until park officials, including Warden Manoj Vidyaratna, intervened. The protest was temporarily called off after the drivers were promised a meeting with the minister later today. Currently, 550 Jeeps are registered for safari operations, with 100 more awaiting approval. The drivers are demanding clarity on the pending registrations, which of course concerns over competition and capacity. A final decision on the matter is expected following the discussions later today. A Gazette Extraordinary has been released amending various import and export regulations, including a significant update that permits Bureau Veritas inspection certificates for vehicles imported from all countries.
A Gazette Extraordinary issued yesterday, signed by President Anurukumara Dissanayake in his capacity as the Minister of Finance, Planning and Economic Development, brings several amendments to Sri Lanka's import and export regulations. The new rules mandate that Sri Lanka's custom verify the authenticity of documents online before clearing motor vehicles for import. Additionally, the Director General of Sri Lanka Customs is required to ensure that all documents endorsed by licensed banks undergo online verification. A key change in the regulation is the acceptance of Bureau Veritas inspection certificates for vehicles imported from all countries. The amendments are part of the Imports and Exports Regulation No. 2 of 2025, which took effect yesterday. The new regulations will be enforced regardless of the date the export inspection certificate is issued. These changes aim to streamline the vehicle import process and enhance document verification.
Let's take a short break now. This is the Nightly Business Report. Welcome back to the Nightly Business Report. On the fourth trading day of the week, the Colombo Stock Exchange saw a continuation of its upward momentum, building on the positive trend from the previous day. Both the All-Share Price Index and S&P SL20 indices posted gains, reflecting investor optimism and sustained market growth. For further insights, we speak with Akna Tennakon from First Capital Holdings.
Thank you, Anuradhi. Today, the Colombo Stock Exchange saw yesterday's positive sentiment continue with revived vigor. The ASPI ended the day in the green at 15,663, having registered an uptick of about 257 points. It was the banking sector that predominantly fueled this gain. Commercial Bank, HNB, Sampath Bank and DFCC emerged as the top positive contributors alongside John Keel's holdings. Market turnover surged today, ending the day at 3.7 billion rupees from the 1.3 billion level registered yesterday. It is also worth mentioning that Sierra Cables was a noteworthy contributor to today's turnover. Moreover, we saw heightened participation from high net worth individuals, which also propelled the enhancement that was evident in turnover today. All in all, capital goods sector made the highest contribution to turnover. This was followed by diversified financial sector and the banking sector. Thank you.
The secondary market saw a surge in activity as strong buying interest drove the yield curve lower, particularly in mid and long tenors, signaling increased investor confidence. This shift reflects a positive outlook as market participants anticipate favorable conditions ahead. For further insights, we speak with Akna Tennakon from First Capital Holdings.
Thank you, Anuradhi. The secondary market saw an uptick in buying interest this week, which in turn triggered somewhat greater trading activity and volumes, particularly compared to early last week. So earlier in the week, investors demonstrated buying interest, which in turn led to a downward adjustment in the yield curve. Buying interest at this point was specially seen for mid and long maturities. So all in all, at the onset of the week, we saw 2028, 29, 30, 31 and 32 maturities securing prominent investor interest. Around midweek, this trend was still quite evident. It was the 2028, 29, 30 and 31 maturities that attracted the most interest. And these developments together resulted in a further downward adjustment in the secondary market yield curve. So as the week is about to draw to a close, we see investors sticking to their initial buying stance, pushing the yield curve down from the short to mid-end as well. So all in all, what we see this week is a yield curve sort of progressively adjusting downwards, reacting to the buying sentiment that appears to have taken root in the secondary market. Thank you.
Gold prices surged to new record highs during Asian trading today, driven by a weaker dollar and expectations of at least 2 more interest rate cuts by the Federal Reserve this year. Spot gold climbed 0.2%, reaching an all-time high of $2,057.36 per ounce, while April gold futures surged to $3,065.09 an ounce. The yellow metal continued to build on recent gains, bolstered by increased safe haven demand amid geopolitical tensions, including the collapse of the Israel-Hamas ceasefire and sluggish progress in Russia-Ukraine peace talks. There's also growing uncertainty around the U.S. economy under President Donald Trump. Gold's latest rally coincided with a drop in both the dollar and the Treasury yields following yesterday's Federal Reserve meeting. The ongoing market volatility has strengthened gold's appeal as a safe investment. Oil prices surged today, driven by a robust demand forecast in the U.S. following a larger than expected drop in fuel inventories and a weaker U.S. dollar. Brent crude futures rose 0.5%, reaching $71.12 per barrel, its highest point since the 3rd of March. Similarly, U.S. West Texas Intermediate crude gained 0.6%, climbing to $67.58 per barrel. A government data revealed that a significant drawdown in distillate inventories, including diesel and heating oil, which fell by 2.8 million barrels, exceeding market expectations. Analysts highlighted that despite lower air travel passenger volumes, U.S. oil demand remains resilient, with reduced travel activity not signaling any broader weakness in the demand outlook. Overall, the outlook for oil demand continues to be strong, providing a positive boost to the market. The Sri Lankan rupee has seen a slight dip against the US dollar today following yesterday's rates. The Central Bank of Sri Lanka reports an increase in both the buying and selling rates of the US dollar. Let's take a closer look at how the rupee is faring against other major currencies across the globe in today's market. A short break now. This is the Nightly Business Report. Welcome back. Hatch has launched the Startup Nation initiative to further boost Sri Lanka's entrepreneurial ecosystem, expanding from 18 startups in 2018 to over 700 today, with plans to grow to 3,000 seats.
Hatch has launched the Startup Nation program to discover, build and fund Sri Lanka's top startups, focusing on deep tech, B2B, B2C innovations and solutions with global scalability. The program includes a national competition where 100 startups will be selected from over 1,000 applicants, with the winner eligible for a $100,000 funding opportunity. Hatch aims to support revenue-generating startups and bridge the gap between investors and entrepreneurs, fostering long-term innovation. Co-founder Jeevan Nanam emphasized the program's goal of providing access to capital and global exposure to drive Sri Lanka's startup ecosystem. Hatch's ecosystem, backed by major international institutions like the UNDP, the Gates Foundation, aims to help startups thrive locally while scaling globally. The initiative focuses on creating a robust entrepreneurship environment by establishing dedicated innovation hubs and partnerships. Hatch is committed to building a world-class startup ecosystem that attracts both investors and entrepreneurs, contributing significantly to Sri Lanka's economic growth.
Pay Media has played a key role in the development of the upgraded Diragu Play platform launched by Diragu Fintech to revolutionize digital payments in the Maldives. The new platform introduces a variety of advanced features such as bill splitting, sub-wallets, peer-to-peer transfers, Favara transfers, bill payments and spending insights. These enhancements are designed to provide a more seamless, secure and inclusive financial ecosystem for both individuals and businesses. As the solution development partner, Pay Media brought its technical expertise and fintech innovation to elevate Diragu Pay to a next-generation payment platform. Diragu Fintech, a fully owned subsidiary of Diragu, continues to drive digital transformation in the Maldives financial sector. With its position as a trusted partner, Pay Media is helping to pave the way for a more connected, cashless future across the Maldives and beyond. The Colombo Stock Exchange has launched a new catalyst board to support the listing of state-owned enterprises in line with a proposal outlined in the 2025 budget presented by the government.
The Colombo Stock Exchange has introduced a new catalyst board to facilitate the listing of state-owned enterprises, as revealed by CSE Chairman Dilshan Weerasekara at the Invest Sri Lanka media conference held in Colombo. Weerasekara explained that the Catalyst Board provides a framework that enables any SOE, including banks, the CPC and the CEB, to get listed. Acknowledging the challenges faced by SOEs in the meeting reporting and governance standards, the CSE has allowed for a transition period to ease the listing process. The chairman noted that this transition period would accommodate SOEs lacking the usual reporting and governance criteria required by the Colombo Stock Exchange. However, Weerasekara highlighted that the government's plans for SOE listings remain unclear, as the committee previously in charge has been disbanded. He emphasized that while the CSE has set up the necessary framework, the government must decide how to proceed with the listings. The CSE hopes the government will take advantage of this new opportunity for SOE participation in the market.
Unimo Enterprises Limited has launched the Unimo brand new Aurudhu Drive, marking a significant moment in Sri Lanka's automobile industry after the lifting of the 5-year import ban. With an extensive inventory of Perodua and GMC vehicles available, Unimo is ready to meet the rising demand for new vehicles this Aurudhu season. Unlike many competitors still in the pre-booking phase, Unimo offers immediate access to popular models like the Perodua Axia C and hatchback, Perodua Beza G sedan and GMC Vegas Pro double cab. Additionally, the company is now accepting bookings for electric vehicles including the Ceres 3 and Dayun DY3, highlighting its focus on sustainable mobility. Unimo provides a 5-year or 150,000 kilometer warranty on its Perodua vehicles along with island-wide after-sales support. With over 80 years of expertise from its parent company United Motors Lanka PLC, Unimo remains a leading force in Sri Lanka's automotive market. Sakura Power Solutions is now the exclusive distributor of Leapton solar modules in Sri Lanka and the Maldives, promoting renewable energy with advanced technology and strong service guarantees.
Sakura Power Solutions has launched Leapton Tier 1 solar panels in Sri Lanka and Maldives, offering superior efficiency and reliability backed by Japanese engineering and advanced manufacturing standards. Addressing concerns over inconsistent panel quality, Sakura guarantees 130 kW per hour of energy generation per kilowatt installed. This surpasses the industry average. The company offers a unique money-back guarantee if annual output falls below 90% of the assured level, ensuring customer confidence. In addition to competitive products, Sakura provides 5 years of free servicing and maintenance along with proactive system monitoring. Director and CEO Haren Pereira emphasized a commitment to reliability with 20-year maintenance agreements to maintain long-term performance. The company also uses advanced simulation software to optimize energy generation and offer transparency on return on investment. With a growing team and focus on sustainability, Sakura Power Solutions is shaping the future of renewable energy in the region.
Chill Colombo, a new upscale dining and nightlife destination, has officially opened at the mall at Port City, Colombo, offering a blend of local and international flavors in a contemporary, elegant setting. The two-story restaurant, bar and cafe caters to various dining preferences, from casual brunches to refined dining and vibrant nightlife. As the sister restaurant of the renowned Chill Allah, which ranked number 2 in TripAdvisor's 2024 Traveller's Choice Awards, Chill Colombo carries a legacy of excellence in Sri Lankan hospitality and culinary artistry. The menu features a diverse range of dishes including Negumbo tier prawns, lampreis, artisan pizzas, handmade pasta and a creative selection of cocktails and mocktails by day. Chill Colombo offers a refined dining experience, while in the evening it transforms into a lively social hub with live music and performances. With seating for over 150 guests, Chill Colombo promises an immersive experience combining delicious cuisine, artistic design and vibrant entertainment. Let's take a short commercial break. Global business updates coming on the other side. This is the Nightly Business Report. Welcome back to the Nightly Business Report. Most Asian stocks rose today following gains on Wall Street after the Federal Reserve kept interest rates unchanged and provided no new signals regarding future rate cuts. Regional markets broadly tracked an over 1% rise in the US, with limited trading volumes due to a holiday in Japan. The Nikkei 225 futures fell slightly by 0.1%, while Australia's ASX 200 bounced back 1.1% from a recent 7-month low. South Korea's Kospi index added 0.5% and Singapore's Straits Times index rose by 0.7%. India's Nifty 50 index futures pointed to a positive open, recovering from a recent 9-month low. However, Hong Kong's Hang Seng index stood out, falling 1.1% as investors took profits from a strong rally in local tech and internet stocks. US stocks rallied after the Federal Reserve kept rates unchanged as widely expected, and the central bank and investors continue to gauge how President Trump's tariff policies affect the economy and inflation.
U.S. stocks rallied on Wednesday, with the Dow gaining just under 1%, the S&P 500 gaining just over 1%, and the Nasdaq adding 1.4%. The Federal Reserve, at the end of its 2-day policy meeting, kept its benchmark overnight interest rate unchanged and indicated that 2 quarter-point interest rate cuts were likely later this year. Stocks on the move Wednesday included General Mills, which shed 2% after the Pillsbury owner lowered its annual sales outlook. Shares of NVIDIA ended higher a day after CEO Jensen Huang defended the company's position as AI chip leader. And Boeing shares jumped nearly 7% after the aircraft maker said it does not see a near-term impact from tariffs.
Samsung Electronics said it was pursuing major deals to catch up with industry peers in the artificial intelligence race and shore up its performance after becoming one of the worst-performing tech stocks last year.
Samsung has been facing tough questions from investors over AI. It's posted weak earnings and seen a slump in share prices after falling behind rivals enjoying strong demand for chips in AI projects. At a Wednesday meeting, shareholders slammed management for poor performance of its stocks and called for ways to revive them. Samsung says it's now on the hunt for major deals to catch up. In internal meetings, Samsung has acknowledged its lost ground. Semiconductors have been a particular pain point where Samsung lags rival SK Hynix in so-called high-bandwidth memory chips. Those are what Nvidia and others rely on for AI graphic processing units. Shares in Samsung tumbled by nearly a third last year and hit a 4-year low in November. Meanwhile, SK Hynix climbed 26%. In recent years, Samsung has also lost market share to TSMC in contract chip making and to Apple and Chinese rivals in smartphones. Han also told investors Wednesday that 2025 would be difficult because of economic uncertainty in major economies. The US and its trade policy under US President Donald Trump is likely an area of worry. Samsung is more vulnerable than its rivals if the US tightens high-end chip exports to China any further. China's become Samsung's most important market as firms there stockpile chips while anticipating US curbs. Han said the company could respond flexibly to Trump's tariffs and would look at options to invest in the US.
Well, that's all from us on the Nightly Business Report for today. We'll see you again tomorrow with the latest updates across the business globe. Till then, I'm Anuradhi Vikramasinghe. Thank you very much for watching. Have a good night.